Hi, and thank you for listening. This is Sherry Andrea, and I appreciate you. I wanted to talk about this video is about responding to evil. Now, actually, it's specifically related to a really nice message I had the opportunity to read from the rabbi of a client of mine. It's a really nice message um, to the members of his temple. Now, I'm not going to actually read the message to you or tell you who the rabbi is because, of course, the message was private. I just had the opportunity to get forwarded a copy of it so I could read it. Very nice message regarding, first of all, it was regarding prayer. It actually tied in the law of attraction, and it spoke specifically about, I guess recently they had gotten together for a group prayer that was regarding three missing boys or something. I actually don't know the specifics of whatever had happened that they got together to pray for a good outcome. Well, I guess they didn't get the good outcome they wanted, but he spoke about how to respond to evil, like when evil or bad things happen. Now, when I say responding to evil, I'm talking about anything negative, really. I'm not just, I'm not talking about some invisible evil. I'm talking about anything that's negative. For example, this could be negative responses in conversation with family and friends. This could be negative comments, snide remarks, harsh words on social media. It happens every day. I see it. I see people posting something and posting their opinion about it, and I, often see them being harshly attacked. And that's too bad. It's too bad that anyone would have to attack a person that has a different opinion. However, when someone, and this is how you have to understand, the majority of humanity is operating in an evil way. It's just a fact. It's fear. The reason why I say it's fear is because there are many people, when presented with a different opinion, a different truth, a different belief, they will respond in a way where it almost seems like they're responding with fear. Why does someone presenting a different opinion, or just stating they have a different opinion or have a different belief or a different truth about something, why does that scare them so much that they have to respond so negatively? If it didn't scare them, if it didn't affect them, they wouldn't have to respond negatively. Now, I've been fortunate that many of the comments that I've gotten on my videos on YouTube, I've been fortunate that the majority of the comments, I would say probably 95% of them, have been very kind, very positive. But I'll tell you, for many of the people that I speak with and that I do coaching sessions for, many of them would like to share their experiences, what they've learned, but they're not right now because they're afraid. They're afraid of the people out there in humanity, that the way they deal with things is by going on the attack. Now, psychologically speaking, it's not a good way to deal with anything, and I think that anyone that has a problem and deals with things in this manner, responds always in this manner, well, they should work on that. You should never have to respond negatively. It is always okay to respond in a positive way and just state that you don't maybe buy into what someone is saying or someone else's truth or belief. It is okay to say, well, I don't believe that. I believe something different, but it's okay that you believe that. The question is, like, for example, if you've actually experienced this yourself, where someone has presented something before you that you greatly disbelieved, here's the question to ask yourself is, how did them believing something different than you affect you or hurt you? Did it hurt you? Well, your answer is probably no, it didn't hurt me, it doesn't affect me. Then what is the need to respond harshly? What is the need to respond negatively? What is your reason for needing to respond hurtfully? Don't we have enough hurt, enough pain, enough agony in this world without someone adding to it? This is a little bit about what the rabbi was saying. He was explaining it does no good to respond to evil with evil, because you're just making the situation worse and you're just making this world worse. And he explained, when evil is presented to you, no matter what it is, whether it's someone saying something to you, whether it's something that's going on in the world, don't respond back with evil, but instead he actually said, instead send out to that divine light and love. Now, he didn't say respond with divine light and love, I don't believe. I believe he actually said the way to combat evil is to combat it with divine light and love. Evil can't obviously be defeated with evil. You may think so. All it does is increase the evil. And so it doesn't get rid of it, it just increases it because now you've added to it. The only way to get rid of evil is to not add to it, because evil dies out if it's not responded to in kind. For example, I can give you an example. Let's say it's a family member or a friend who had such a differing opinion or didn't like something that you said, and they basically went on the attack. And they responded back to you harshly with harsh words, sarcasm, whole 9 yards. Well, you don't want to respond back with that. If you don't play the evil game, then it has to die down. It takes at least 2 people to keep it going. So if you refuse to buy into it and you refuse to play, well, obviously they can do nothing. And that issue, drops. Because if you refuse to buy into it, you refuse to respond in kind, if you just, simply, if they respond something negatively and you just simply say, okay, I hear you, and leave it at that, you've just given them nothing to be able to respond to, meaning you fed them with no ammunition to keep it going. Now, they can keep going if they choose to, and some people do this, no matter what you say. Like, even negative comments on YouTube. A lot of the negative comments I've got, I've, just responded with positive words. I might say, well, thank you for sharing, your view and your opinion on this matter. Namaste. I might just say something simple like that. And it's interesting that even if I respond in kind, sometimes they'll keep going. You know what I mean? You've responded in kind, just saying, I hear you, I respect what you have to say, I hear you, namaste, and have a good day, and you'll notice that they'll respond back again with more venom, more negativity, more negative energy. Because they don't have any control over themselves. You have to understand, a person that does these things, unfortunately, they don't have any control over themselves. They can't even really stop themselves because they're being led by their negative egos. They're not in control of themselves and their own life. They're not in control of the things they do, the things they say. If they were, they would be able to control how they handle a situation. Don't get upset. Be thankful that you're not them. Be thankful you don't have that problem. Be thankful you've gotten to, a time in your life where you don't suffer that and where you're not adding to the negativity of the world. Be thankful that, what's that saying? If you're not a part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So these people that are just throwing negativity at you, maybe it's in a response on Facebook, maybe it's family, friends, that in a conversation, just because they didn't like what you said, they're throwing negativity out there. Well, if they're not a part of a solution, if they're not a part of the solution of this negativity in the world, then they are a part of the problem. And you have to understand what you're dealing with. You have to recognize it when it happens so that you can make the wise choice of how you're going to deal with it and how you're going to respond. Now, often, some of these things may make you angry. You may have a conversation, there's an interaction with someone, and then, when you leave that and you go home, you're still really upset about it. I understand that. And there's what to do in that situation. Because even if you're not responding back to them with negativity, but if you're going home and you're focusing on it, you're upset about it, you're mad about it, you're still putting out negative energy, and you don't want to do that. So what do? The only thing that you can do with people who do this to you, with situations where you get in this state and you feel that anger, you feel that those feelings of, God, it shouldn't be this way. You shouldn't allow bad people with bad behavior to attack good people that mean well. You shouldn't allow this. I mean, you have all these thoughts. Oh, you shouldn't allow this. Why does this happen? Why does this happen if I'm trying to be good, I'm trying to be kind, I have good intentions? Why does this happen then? You'll have all those feelings. You'll feel like, why doesn't karma happen fast enough? I think many people, that's a thought going through their head. Karma just doesn't happen sometimes fast enough. What's the best thing to do in that situation? You really want to change it? You really want to affect it? Pray for the person. Start praying. Praying, talking out loud to God, and telling God, I want this person to be changed, to be moved. I want them to get whatever it is they need to be able to be truly happy. I want them to be awakened up out of whatever state they're in that causes them to do this. I want you to give them as much love and light as you possibly can. Pray for them. Ask God to help them. That is how you deal with evil, anything negative. Whether it's prayer that you're going to use, decrees, mantras, it is very effective. Now, sometimes you feel like it's not because you're still left with a bad feeling. Maybe you still feel like you're still hurting from whatever they said or did to you. So sometimes you may not feel like it's really effective, but you have to trust that it is. You do have to have that trust and that faith that, that love, divine light is effective. You have to actually believe that. Because if you don't believe it, then taking action of this nature by using prayer and love and sending out that to the person, then it's not going to be as effective. So you actually have to believe it. I go to CNN.com whenever I want to just, I usually go there once a day just to catch up, see, what's going on in the world. I usually just read that bar across the top, the breaking news one, because basically in a nutshell, I can see, okay, what's going on. If there's anything huge going on, like earthquake, something bad has happened. Well, I usually see it right there. So in a nutshell, I can say, oh yeah, same thing, different days going on. But usually when I read an article, one of the things that I really like doing is not just reading the article, but what I'm usually interested in is what is the majority of people, what do they feel about this article. I know what I got out of it and what I think about it, but I'm usually interested to know, okay, well, what are people thinking and saying about this. So I like to scroll down and read the comments. And I'll tell you, every time I ask myself, Sherry, why do you read these comments on CNN? I'll tell you, if you want to get a clear picture of the reality we're living in, the world we're living in, read some CNN comments. The venom, the nastiness, the pure evil. Literally, you can see. And I don't think it's just on the internet where people are free to sit behind their computers and say whatever. I don't really believe it's just because it's the internet. I believe people are basically, you're getting to see who they really truly are. They're letting a little bit of their real feelings out. And to see the lack of respect for culture, for race, for gender, everything. You want to get an idea of what you're dealing with, the world you're living in, and why it's so important to not add to the negativity. Go read some CNN comments. See what your neighbors, your coworkers, see what kind of state they're in, what kind of people they are. And you'll realize it is very important how you handle situations. It's very important that you do not add to the negativity in the world. I hope this talk has been helpful. I appreciate you. I thank you for allowing me to share some of the knowledge and the understandings that I've picked up along the way. I really appreciate your time. Have a great day. Namaste.